Hello. I'm very, very tired. I guess I should probably say more than that. It's week two of the week two of the Pokemon Battle League. I am Cheryl, coach of the Weedles. That's my team name. And this week I was up against, God, I'm really tired. I'm sleepy. I had to be up early. Okay, but that's like completely unimportant. This week I was up against Jacob, coach of the Stantlers. And I think it was an interesting battle. I definitely started out stronger. I can say like with confidence that I only had like a couple maybe misplays in this. Either way, I opened with Bronzong, and he opened with Mew. I was hoping for an open with either, I guess Mew would have been fine, or Infernape, which was also a big concern of mine, so in preparing for that, I had Bronzong with Heat Proof. But rather I just started with Mew and just traded some Gyro Balls at him. And yeah, not a lot happened. Exchanged some Stealth Rocks. This is a much less interesting commentary than last week, I guess, but you can't just put a bunch of time into something every single time. But eventually he does throw out Infernape, and I can, first of all, put my Stealth Rocks back up, and then take the Flare Blitz, which certainly hurt a whole lot, and retaliate with a nice old Zen Headbutt, which did a lot as well. Also, as you guys may notice, I'm the home team, which means, of course, that the battle isn't from my perspective, it's from my opponent's, because apparently something went terribly wrong again. I'm starting to think that maybe this is a me issue, but at least a video got saved, so at least there's that this time, because I'm not going to just draw a whole video again. I threw out Starmie, hopefully to try and get a screen up, maybe potentially, I don't know, threaten him out with how fast Starmie should be. That's one of my bigger misplays going into this, was how I built Starmie. I think kind of was a big reason why I may have lost, because this was especially defensive Starmie, which worked out fine in my practice and showdown, but like in actuality didn't work out well against his team. But I got a screen up and then threw out Hariyama against Porygon, and what I had hoped had happened, which was to hopefully get Hariyama status, which he was, because he was Guts this week, and so his attack went up, and then that allowed him to do some pretty sick moves. I know when he threw out that Altaria, I realized, I was like, he's probably going to throw out Altaria, and I was like, I may as well just do knockoff just to be safe. Luckily the knockoff did a lot more. Did a lot. He also, Hariyama did so well with this paralysis. And then when the knockoff didn't finish him off, I was like, well, if he's going to Mega Evolve, at least Bullet Punch will. And then he threw out Mew to defog those stones, get rid of those stones. And, I went for another knockoff here, which was, oh, no, not yet. First of all, the only time that the paralysis hit me was here, where I was not able to move, and he could get Stealth Rocks up. Which sucks because of how I built Starmie, which wasn't with very much speed investment. Could not get a defog, or Rapid Spin, sorry. So yeah, I just slapped Mew, took him out. He threw out a Shaman, and I had Ice Punch. My Lieutenant Fisting is my Hariyama's name. Mr. Lieutenant Fisting. This shaman probably also, like, basically ended the game, as you'll see later, with a pretty fancy move, but I started out pretty strong, I think, with this, with the guts working out on Hariyama, and him just being able to just, get out some really nasty moves. So, it felt good to slap Porygon 2 around, given how much it fucked me over, last season. So, it felt nice to be able to just slap him around. Also, predicting the switch, being able to get that knockoff off was, pretty nice. Though knockoff is always just like a safe move to throw out there in general, rather than the other moves, which I had was close combat. I had bullet punch, as you saw, an ice punch, and knockoff on him, and he was assault vested as well. Tailwind peters out. This is where it starts to get quiet again. Anyways, my main concern going into this was Thunderous. This is one that I realized when watching this that it was kind of a misplay on my part, which is when I'm watching this and I'm like, I would have known that I was going to die. I really should have just thrown out a bullet punch to get a little bit of damage off, and then this other part was definitely also a little bit of a misplay on my part, which is I went into this terrified of a nasty plot Thunderous, so I threw out that taunt, but I guess I probably should have known when the stakes were that high. I don't think he would waste a turn with a nasty plot or something like that. So really I could have just done a boom burst, and I think that would have been a better play. That would have been a much better play, actually. Is if I could have gotten the bullet punch off on Hariyama and then gotten a boom burst off. It could have been a different game, maybe. And so, at this point after, I knew that, the only way that I can try and take Thunderous down was if I just threw out a bunch of Pokemon to sacrifice so he could keep taking recoil damage from Life Orb. And then, once it got down to low enough, I could, throw out Mama Roach, my Golisopod, or Golisopod, I don't know how it's pronounced, to try and get a Sucker Punch in. And then if the Sucker Punch didn't KO him, then the Life Orb recoil would. But, unfortunately, I also completely forgot that he got this, KO on, Mr. Son Goku, Infernape. So yeah, my low-tier mods did pretty well this week. But then Bulma just kind of screwed all that up with this next part, which is getting a Healing Wish off, which kind of fucking sucks. And so once he got, I knew basically once he got that Healing Wish off that basically the whole thing was over. There was nothing I can do for this guy now at this point, and yeah, that was it. So I guess it's a lot in retrospect to try and figure out. If I had put more speed investment in Starmie, that would have been a different game. I could have at least gotten rid of the rocks, which really also screwed me over for this. Or at least gotten rid of the rocks before Starmie, like, you know, got KO'd. Because there's a lot of moves that I had in there that was less of a chance of whether or not that Thunderbolt from Life Orb Thunderous would KO or not, unless there was rocks out, which is what just sort of effed me, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a close game. If it hadn't, like, working around sort of the misplays, which was, I probably, like I said, I was more scared of, like, Thunderous setting up, when really I should have just recognized the situation and just gone for pure damage to try and get rid of it, though I wouldn't have known if the Healing Wish would have come into play earlier, but then if it had come into play earlier, maybe there would have been a better chance. I don't know necessarily. And then if, like, the Healing Wish hadn't been, if there hadn't been that Healing Wish on Shaman, I probably would have won that. It would have been left to best case scenario, Shaman versus Golisopod, or okay scenario, Shaman up against Volcarona. So, yeah, it was a great match. Hariyama did a lot of work. Lieutenant Fisting did a lot of work. I only brought one OU Mon this week and then didn't use him at all, Volcarona, and instead just tried to feel things out. I put all of my RU Mon. But yeah, it was fun. It felt good, and you know what? It did not hurt to lose, because I felt like it was a good battle, and I don't mind losing to a good battle. I don't know. There's a period of silence there for a second. I sound like doing like I wish like commentaries. I just feel like I'm boring, and I'm trying not to be boring. My next commentary I do, I don't know how many weeks that is from now, but be expected there'll be so many goofy voices brought. Okay. Goodbye.